Hi guys, in this video I'll be doing an update for my 4th, 6th and 9th graders. I will be going through according to how I have it laid out here by subjects, and I will try to put some chapters at the bottom so that you can just jump around to whichever part of the video you might be interested in. Alright, so for Spanish, they are all doing Duolingo. However, my eldest, she is using the Spanish Now for her Spanish credit. The Duolingo portion, well, they all enjoy the Duolingo and they like, keeping up with the leagues and stuff. For my eldest, the Duolingo portion is allowing her to hear the Spanish, giving her a little bit of opportunity to practice saying it, because they ask them to repeat some of the sentences in lieu of having someone that she could speak to, in the language. And it's all, she says it also teaches her new words, right? The Spanish Now, it's teaching her the grammar rules and, of course, she's practicing writing the grammar. She does like the fact that she's learning a little bit of the culture. So she's liking this. However, this is challenging for her. However, this second semester, she's going to have a lot more time that she can devote to the four heavier subjects, because outside of science, which she's almost finished with, the dive science, she has 4 subjects that she is going to be able to put more time in. Her 4 subjects that's a little bit challenging, and Spanish is one of them. All right, so she's getting through it. This is where she's at with the workbook. All right, she's getting through it, but it is challenging. So right, so we're aiming to finish, about 80%, minimum 75. Hopefully more than 80% of the book. She'll have more time to work on it. Now, she's not necessarily interested in doing Spanish afterwards, at least at this point. However, while she's doing it, she is enjoying it. So I'm hoping that when she has a little bit more, time on her schedule, maybe I can find like a Spanish show, like 1 or 2 episodes, and have her listen to it, a couple of times with the one that allows for the subtitles to show up, and maybe that might help her. Not 100% sure, but she's getting through it, so that's it for Spanish, right? All right, so for grammar, my eldest, she did the Fixed Grammar book 5. She's actually finished with this. All of them all of them did a little bit of Fixed Grammar, and also first language lessons. I just had to change up, the flow of how I did it, with them. So my eldest, she did all of first language lessons 1 through 4. Then she moved on to Fixed Grammar. She's on book 5. She'll be finishing with book 6 next year. Very happy with this curriculum. My 4th and 6th graders also really like the Fixed Grammar, but I thought it beneficial for them to stop after book 2 and move back to first language lessons where they left off which was they had finished level 2. So now we're doing level 3. Now I did share in a video that I was a little bit concerned if I had made a mistake going back to book 3 with my 4th and 6th graders. No, very happy with this choice. They're doing very well with it. They are understanding the diagramming, and I just think that breaking it up it really worked out better for them, right? So, and I just figured that out by accident, so I didn't know. Right, so very happy with our grammar choices. That's one subject that I'm actually really happy with. All right, so I'll do history. So history, geography, and social studies. Now for my eldest, she's using the Nutgrass history. I did an entire video on this curriculum because it's a little bit on the heavier side. I do want to say that when I first started this curriculum, I was a little bit concerned because I've never studied history it is from a Christian perspective, and it starts with going through, ancient biblical history. But as we've gone through the curriculum, and I shared in that other video, I also did a flip through. For us as a Christian family, I really do like this. I think that it's going to help solidify her faith, as she's, becoming a young lady. And I really do like the curriculum. I also like how it's laid out for us, so that we can get all of the different parts, completed, so that she can work on the credit. And she's managing with it. All right. And she is doing all 3 subjects within it. She's doing the Bible, the literature, and also the history. And we did add a few extra resources to go with this, just to kind of make it a little bit more rounded for us as, as a family. And I shared that in that other video as well. All right, so really like the Nutgrass history. All right, and for my 4th and 6th graders, we are doing the Everything You Need to Ace American History, and also they are using the 180 Days of Social Studies and Geography. They're using for both. Now, with this book, we were actually moving through it really slowly. We just finished chapter 4, and that's because I would read it to them. Then I would incorporate videos because they learn really well by watching videos and doing activities. I will find little free, whether it's puzzles and stuff online, just to kind of help them get as much out of it. Because to be honest, at least within our homeschool, like earlier on, I used to be so worried because we just wasn't at least I felt like we wasn't doing a lot of like, the history, social studies, in general. But it just kind of worked out. Even though we probably started later, like history is actually one of my eldest favorite subjects. I wouldn't say it's my 4th and 6th graders' favorite, one of their favorites, but we are enjoying history, right? I actually enjoy doing history with them now. So to help us get through it a little bit faster, hopefully during the 2nd semester, I was able to find, this is the 1st edition, because there's a 2nd edition, I didn't want to get that. These are not perfect. But the reason why I like this is that it gives me a guide that I can use. Like if I wanted to dive deeper, I can use this and find videos based on the topic. So I found two copies on thrift books. So I'm hoping that we will be able to move through it a little bit faster during the 2nd semester, since we can all, they'll be able to read with me. So we'll be able to read it together and then watch videos, So anyway, it would be nice if I could just give them it and they will read it and then we can watch the videos. But, you have to know your kids. All right. So I do like this. We're just moving through it slowly. I'm hoping that we'll be able to move a little bit faster come the 2nd semester. All right. Now for social studies and geography for my 4th and 6th graders, I like this 180 Days of Social Studies and Geography. The geography, it's simple. They get it done. The social studies this year, to help them get a little bit more out of it. And I know everybody feels a little bit differently about, like media and stuff. Depending on the topic, it's not very often, but depending on the topic within this 180 Days of Social Studies, sometimes the information that they give them can be so, it's just enough to help them answer the questions, but not enough where they truly understand it and really gain anything out of it. So what do I allow? And that's with them right in here where I'm able to see what they're doing. They are allowed to research certain topics, within Gemini, where, they can kind of dive a little bit deeper into it. And my 6th grader specifically, she said that she likes doing it like that because this year she found that she actually understands what she is answering in here and she's remembering it. So as I said, I know, everybody feels differently about media, but that's what we are doing to get just a little bit more, out of this. All right. So that's that. They're actually, almost finished with the social studies and the geography workbooks, right? So that as well will give us a lot more time to work with just this in the 2nd semester. So for science, my eldest, she's doing dive science. She's doing chemistry and physics. And my younger two, we are using Answers in Genesis, right? Right now, we are almost finished with our weather and water, and then we'll be moving on to our universe. We've used this curriculum from since the beginning. It's a very good curriculum to help make it a little bit more interactive and easier for my 4th and 6th graders to really get something out of it. I do incorporate, YouTube videos as well. Once we are finished with a topic, then I have us go through the worksheets, right? I print them out. I have them printed out. It's in their drawer. And we will work through the worksheet, right? I very few times will I print extra activities, to be quite honest with this. And I may try a simple activity here and there, right? I wouldn't claim that I do all of the, actual experiments and stuff that's in here. But if it's something that's, easy to do, then we'll do it. All right. So that is science for my 4th and 6th graders. So I like that curriculum. And the dive science, my eldest, she's actually almost finished with this chemistry and physics. So probably by middle of February, she'll be finished with this, which will be one less thing that she has to do. Even though it has a schedule, laid out here, she just moved through it. If she was able to do more, she did more because she was able to get through it faster. So the way how it's broken down is she has 28 labs, 29 lessons, right, throughout the program. And each week has like 5 parts: a vocabulary lesson, a reading assignment, a video lecture, a review lesson, and a lab. That's most weeks. But some weeks instead, she will have 2 video lectures and 2 sets of review questions, and then she will have a lab. And for this program, to be honest, most of it she watched the video labs, right? Science is not necessarily one of her, even though she understands it and it's easy for her, it's not necessarily a favorite. She likes writing and history and anything heavy on the writing side, right? But she likes the dive science. This is working well, so most likely we'll be continuing with dive into science with that dive website. My only complaint would be sometimes the Educadium website. It moves a little bit slow, and we've had that happen a couple times when she was doing earth science, and we've also had it happen a couple times as she's doing their math and their science. Not enough where it makes it a problem, but it has happened, right? All right, financial literacy. I'm using just the grade 3 with my 4th and 6th graders. They are finished with the lessons that they are able to do. We just have a few exercises to do, to sit down and do together. It's straightforward, an introduction, to a few financial terms, just to kind of get them, aware of those things. Sometimes you would think that you will discuss all of these things with them, but it's good to have material where it's kind of structured. So because you think you'll talk to them about everything, and it just doesn't happen. But anyway, so we like this, very simple to do. So most likely we'll just be continuing with that. So vocabulary for my eldest, she is doing the Worldly Wise, book 9. My younger 2, I want to say now, we're doing the McGraw-Hill vocabulary. I did say that I think I did say that I would try for us to not introduce something new and just finish off with this vocabulary, until next school year. I have to change my mind on that because it has become something that they're just doing. One of them said that they are not getting anything from it. The way how it's structured with all of the puzzles, it just doesn't work for her, and she's not remembering any of the words, which is so funny because I thought that for her it would have worked. And she says that the Scholastic, even though it was easier, she remembered a lot more of the words, and I can attest to that because they actually used to use some of the words similar to the Scholastic. The words are not, a lot of the words they're familiar with, but for some reason they both say that they're not getting a lot from this. And and then one of them says that all of the words, so far, she knows them already. So I am going to go ahead, and they're not going to do this for the second semester. I'm actually going to go ahead and have them try the Worldly Wise. I was leading heavily on the word roots because I have it, but I think because my eldest is doing this, so I'm familiar with this. Even though I've looked through the Worldly Wise, word roots, sorry, we never actually used it. I'd gotten it from a thrift store, sorry. We never actually used it, but this one I'm a little bit more familiar with since my eldest. This is the second time that she's using. She used the book 8 and now the book 9. So we'll try this. I'll get the grade level. I was considering trying below grade level, but I'll try grade level 4 and 6, and see how they do with it, right? Because they're continuing with this other curriculum. I'm not criticizing the curriculum. I'm sure it's going to work for somebody. It just doesn't. It's not. I thought it would have worked for them, but it just isn't, right? I'm hoping the Worldly Wise works. If not, I'm not sure if Scholastic goes only up to the 6th grade, but I'll have to find something else. All right, but anyway, so that is vocabulary. Cursive, really simple. My 4th and 6th graders, they're finished with their book. My eldest, she's not doing this for credit or anything. She likes writing in cursive, and she just asks for one so that she can continue to practice. She practices on her own time here and there. She just has a few pages done, right? So it's not for credit or anything. So this just allows them to, gain the skill of writing in cursive, and I do like the handwriting without tears. It's pretty simple, simply laid out. All right, so for writing, my eldest is using The Power in Your Hands, nonfiction by Sharon Watson, and my 4th and 6th graders, we are using a combination of The Thinking Company, Building Writing Skills Level 1, and Classical Quills, Level 1. All right, so I'll start with my eldest first, since that one is simpler. She decided to use this curriculum. We discovered it when she was, I think, sometime probably in the 8th grade. The fiction writing by Sharon Watson. And she really enjoyed it and decided that she wanted to try this curriculum. She was using writing rhetoric before, really enjoyed that curriculum when she was using it. And then, she just decided she wanted to try something else, and she really likes this, right? Now, this is a Christian-based curriculum. So there's that. And it does have, devotional writing. This is nonfiction. It has devotional writing and stuff. So if it is you're not Christian, maybe you can just leave out that part. But I'm not sure if that's, if that's something that would work for you. But, she likes how it's laid out. And it's challenging enough for her. And she is enjoying the curriculum. All right. So that's writing. I did do a video specifically on just this Power in Your Hands curriculum. So I'll link that above if you wanted to see it, the walkthrough, and also the flip through of this. All right. Move some of this. So for my 4th and 6th graders, they are enjoying this building writing skills. When we first tried this 2 years ago, none of them took to it. Now, my 6th grader face lit up, genuinely lit up, when we went through the first lesson in this, because something clicked, and she said she understood. She understood what was expected of her to be able to put her thoughts in, I guess, in a logical way on paper. I really like the plan sheets in here. This, together with a few of the plan sheets in here, they have like a little packet that helps them to organize their stories in, in a way that they're able to make a little bit more sense. This system works for them, I'll get to the classical quiz right now. The way how we're able to get this done is we do the building writing skills on Monday and Friday, and we do the classical quiz on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, honestly, that is a lot. However, I didn't feel as if this might have been, I'm not sure, but I didn't think that this would have been enough as a full writing curriculum by itself. But I would say that I am happy that we are combining this with this, because this, like, I know for description for sure, my 6th grader said it was extremely helpful for her when we finished description. And actually earlier on I was speaking to them, and my eldest said that she can say that she can attest to that, because her sister was describing one of her stories to her, and she said that she was able to actually picture it as she was telling the story. And I think that says a lot, right? Now, so they really do like this. So this series is probably something we're going to find a way to kind of continue with, right? Now, before I talk about the classical quiz, the outlining books, even though they have done pre-writing in the personal narrative and story narrative, which is the two sections that we are finished with, I'm going to start the outlining as they're getting ready to do the opinion writing, because I think that they're going to need to organize their thoughts a little bit better, as they might have to persuade the reader as they're writing an opinion piece. So I'm thinking that that might be a good time to introduce these. So I do have one more of their story narratives for us to kind of sit down and go through. And I shared in a video before how it is I kind of use to help me with that. And I'll link that above. But I use like an editing program, and they put it in there, then they print it out, they correct it, and stuff like that. But anyway, so once I finished correcting that story narrative, then we are going to take some time and go through definitely the outlining, the first book. I'm not sure if we're going to do the second book right now. I might wait until we are finished with opinion writing and then come back and do the second book. Not sure. But I know that we're going to do the first outlining book just before we start the opinion writing. So that's in a couple of weeks. All right. So that is the building writing skills. Really like that. My girls really enjoying that. Like really enjoying that. All right. Now the classical quiz is a little bit more challenging. And how we are getting through it, we are now, I think we're finished with chapter 4. It has 10 chapters. Right. We're now on chapter 4. We're still doing chapter 4. Right. And it has 10 chapters. The benefit of this is that it goes through the classical style of writing with all of the different steps within one book, right? And then as they go through the different levels, whether it's quills 1, then quills 2, and then writing the classical way 3 and 4, like that's if they continue with that. It goes through all the classical the steps within the classical style of writing within one book. And it just gets, progressively more difficult as they go through each book. So I do like that. And I think that is going to work best for them if I choose to continue with this classical writing style with them, as opposed to the writing rhetoric, which my eldest really enjoyed while she was using it, where it goes through the classical style, but, it breaks it up like a book. Like it might have one step in a book or 2 steps in one book. So it's a little bit more detailed, and, but I think for them, this style is going to be, better, less daunting. However, for them to really understand it, we have to do a bit of legwork. So what that entails is us reading it together without looking up any words. That's why we're moving so slowly. We read it together without looking up any words. Then so that's probably like on a Tuesday. Then on a Wednesday, I will have them get their dictionary and go through the passage, find any words that they don't understand, and write the meaning next to it. And then we will come back on Thursday and read it together. And depending on how much time we have, we might start answering the questions, or it will flow into the next week. A really slow process, right? But for now, they are getting through it. And as I said, I know for sure when they finish the description portion in this book, it was very helpful, especially for my 6th grader, right? So we are liking it for now. It's just going to take us a while to get through it. I'm thinking that if we stick with this, I'm not really going to be concerned with when they finish it and what level, but just kind of slowly progress through it and see where we get. I'm trying to see if we can get through the quills 1 and 2 and then decide where we're going to go, from there. But anyway, so writing, that was a lot for writing, but writing is going well for all of them. So math, we've been doing Math UC for a while. My 4th and 6th graders are still doing Math UC. On a Wednesday, we watched like a Bible movie, and after we're finished with that, if it is we have to watch a new lesson, that's when I would watch it with them, sit down and watch it with them, pause, rewind, or anything like that. Before I used to do it on a Sunday, but now that works better. All right, so they're doing well with this. They both, do well with Math, you see. Now, I did switch from Math, you see, for my eldest last year, and I was wondering if it would have been something that we would have regret doing. However, she really likes the dive math. She likes the fact that she has writing, she takes notes, note taking with it, and that makes it, something that we can't see that because of the light, the glare, but anyway, she takes notes. She really likes to write, and she says that having the writing included with her math makes it where she, even though it is challenging and it is one of her harder subjects, she's enjoying it a lot more, right? It's not that she did not like Mr. Demi's style of video, because she liked Matthew C, but she liked the note-taking portion of this, but she also liked the fact that she's doing a credit and a half. Those are her words, all right? Now, as I shared earlier, because she's going to have less load during the second semester, math is the second subject that she's going to be able to put more time in. So Spanish, math, history, and writing, because she have quite a few essays. She's halfway in the writing, but she will need to put a little bit more time into all of those subjects, since those are like a heavier subjects. All right, so she's enjoying the dive math, right? So it has, the way how it's broken down is like each week they have like rules and definitions. So they will have like a link that they have to click on to, learn the rules and definitions for that week. Then they will have a video lecture, sometimes 3 or 4 weekly. Then they have some review questions, and those review questions can be anything up to 20 questions per lecture, right? And then they have a quiz, and each quiz has 4 questions. At the end of the quarter, or every 25 lessons, they have an exam, right? And there's 100 lessons in all, right? Now, the review questions and quizzes, they can do them over, but it doesn't change, the percentage that or contribution that it has towards their grade. However, with the exam at the end of the quarter, right? So their quarterly exam, if it is for some reason they did not perform well, they are allowed to do it a second time. Of course, they will just get, an average, based on what they got on the two tries. All right. So that is math. So she is liking the dive math. That is working for her. Not sure if this is something that is going to work for, like, say if I was to do this with my other 2 girls, but for her, this works. I did at the beginning of the term, I actually picked up the math UC just in case, but she is very happy with that. But that's something that God spare we'll be able to use later on, because my other 2 children, most likely, will be sticking with math UC. All right, so for reading comprehension, I really like this, series by the Critical Thinking Company. My 4th and 6th graders, they are doing the A1, right? And they're actually almost finished with that. My eldest, she just wanted to complete the series. I didn't feel like she needed to, but she really wanted to finish it off. And she finished this, I think, October last year. So she got through it pretty quickly, but she just felt like she wanted to finish it off. But this series, absolutely simple, but really like this series. All right. So for Bible this year, instead of like a devotional or whatever, they still do their morning Bible reading in the morning. It's different for all of them. Like my 4th and 6th graders still use like kids' Bibles, some of the ones that we've had before, but they might read like Proverbs. And for my eldest, like she does her Bible reading, and for history, she might do she'll do the whatever Bible, scriptures that's required for history. That's what she would usually do for Bible studies. On a Wednesday, however, we have been watching, like some Bible movies. We actually finished, all of them. My younger two, was, asking if we can watch VeggieTales, but I don't know if my eldest is going to. I don't know how she feels about VeggieTales anymore. But they used to really like VeggieTales when they were younger. So that's it. That was a lot. Hopefully, I said that clearly. All in all, we're really happy with everything. Some subjects we're moving a little bit slower in, and I'm hoping that in this second semester we'll be able to pick up the pace a little bit. For my eldest, she'll have more time to work on the subjects that's a little bit tougher for her. And, my younger two, my 4th and 6th graders, some of their subjects that they're finished with will allow me a little bit more time to sit down and work with them. All right, so for spelling and reading, because I almost forgot those, it's pretty straightforward for my 4th and 6th grader. They actually finished with the book 4 for spelling. However, I have them, kind of sit down and go through some of the, so to speak, more tougher lessons. And then they're going to be finished with it for this year. I'm gonna wait until next school year before they start book 5. And for the All About Reading, we sit down and do that together. I sit down and go through the lesson, and they sit down in front of me and work through it on the board. And once we're finished with the book 4, they're going to be finished with, like a reading instruction, dedicated reading instruction. And it's just like going to the library and, their personal reading. And we still do go to the library. Not like sometimes I extend the book so that we don't have to go that often, if it will allow me to, because we had quite a few little things that came up this year. But anyway, so that's spelling, reading, and I guess our library visits. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If it is you have any questions, feel free to ask below and I will answer them as soon as possible. And I will talk to you in another video. Bye.